one for me. Although,
I have a
God,
question. I got a question. The whole mindset shift thing.
Mhm.
I think everybody knows that they need to think better
Mhm.
and they need to be more positive. But at some point, the hardest customer to sell is yourself. You know you need to think better. So let's take hypothetically a guy named Chris who is just always negative and always downer and all that stuff. And Chris, this hypothetical person, knows he needs to think more positively, but how do you believe it?
Welcome to the Small Business Safari, where I help guide you to avoid those traps, pitfalls, and dangers that lurk when navigating the wild world of small business ownership. I'll share those gold nuggets of information and invite guests to help accelerate your ascent to that mountaintop of success. It's a jungle out there, and I want to help you traverse through the levels of owning your own business that can get you bogged down and distract you from hitting your own personal and professional goals. So strap in, adventure team, and let's take a ride through the safari and get you to the mountaintop.
let's get ready to rock this one, Alan. We haven't been in studio for a little while, so we got to get this one going. And finally, we have somebody in studio with us, not just us just talking to each other or somebody on Zoom. We're talking to somebody in person, guys. This is amazing.
And that means more bourbon. That means you actually bring out the good stuff instead of just a crappy maintenance bourbon you feed me.
And we did. Shout out to Steve Beach, and we're using his bourbon.
That's
yet
right.
again, Beach has the master network. I don't think anybody in Alpharetta has not heard of this guy. I brought him up just to another person he came out. So, guys, you guys listen to this episode. We're trying to make some stuff happen. I'll tell you, I got some great feedback just today before we went into the studio talking about, hey, I hear you on the show, and I have a few questions. Would you have a minute to talk to me some more about this?
I love
Who
that.
is he? He is another remodeler in another state who's trying to figure out how to scale like I have. So we're starting to figure out, everybody here is listening. We're all trying to get better at what we're doing, right? We're trying to get up that mountain, trying to figure out how to scale, try to figure out how the safari is supposed to work. And that's why you're here listening, guys. And today we have the big one. We got the one that talks about leveraging your mindset, talking about that mind, those 5 inches between your brain. We're talking about, and I'm going to use a golf reference. What's the worst 5 inches in golf?
The ones between your ears.
That's right, Alan. And I can tell you right now, those 5 inches are absolutely crippling my game. So we're going to get to that at the end.
There were so many jokes in there. Oh, my God.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
We're working clean here, Alan.
Are we now?
Fucking,
We're not.
Come on, let's go. All right, let's get back to it, please.
You know what you got me excited about is this guy can hypnotize me and I can break 80.
I know that.
That's what I heard. That's all I heard.
So not only is this guy an author, a well-known speaker, speaks to the Fortune 1, Fortune 500, but he actually can talk to us guys who are maybe on a little bit on the smaller side, right? Maybe you're sitting there trying to figure out how to crack 1 million, trying to figure out how to crack 2 million, or maybe you're like me, sitting there struggling between 5 and 6 million, trying to figure out how I'm going to get to 10. That's where I'm trying to get to. So you got to unlock your mind. I just had a strategic meeting with my guys talking about how to do this. We got to change our habits because we can't get where we're trying to
Is
go.
the strategic meeting where you just scream at them and they just sit there and nod their head?
That was the breakout.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I do. I try to build them up and tell them our word of the year this year, by the way, is dependable.
It's expendable.
Dependable, Alan. Dependable. Thank you. Dependable. So, guys, let's get into this. Ricky Kalmon is here with us, and this guy not only has a book, has an app you can download.
He's kind of a big deal.
He's a big deal, man. And I tell you what, doing the research, and here's how did we met him? We met him at one of Beecham's parties.
Over bourbon.
Again, the 6 degrees
so
of Brett
scary.
Beecham.
It's
It really
so
is.
scary. It
I swear
really
to God,
is.
he is the Kevin Bacon of Atlanta.
He is the Kevin Bacon of Atlanta, but what a great place to meet somebody. There's a fireplace. There's a table that had how many bottles of bourbon?
Like 50 bottles. I talk about this. It's funny. It was back in December. I talk about this. By the way, thanks, guys. Good to see you both.
Cheers.
Yeah, like right back at you. And we had 50 bottles to choose from. And how do you choose from 50 bottles? And we did. And it's interesting. You never know what's going to happen when you meet people. And I think as an entrepreneur, and I think you guys can associate this, you got to put yourself out there and you got to just take every day like for what it is. And you never know who you might meet and what a difference not only they might make on your life, but you can make on theirs.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is really interesting, I was just relaying this to one of my guys at the office, is that you go to work and you grind and grind and grind. And you're like, come on, man, when am I going to get mine? When am I going to get mine? And then every once in a while you go, I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to go up, maybe hit a few golf balls at the club, do whatever. And you know what's amazing is when you do something like that and you're not looking for it and it happens.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
and it's crazy. And you're like, well, then maybe I should just go play more golf. That's what Helen did.
Well, do you remember when we were driving in? It's like, okay, what are your expectations? Is this just make an appearance and glad hand a little bit and leave? And you're like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna. And next thing you know, we weren't in it for the long haul. I mean, I didn't want to get to. At some point, I expected that party to turn ugly, and the cops come, and you need Ubers, and
There's 300 people in
Yeah,
somebody's backyard.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
the good news is probably the cops know beach too.
Yeah, they were there.
that's-
They were there.
that's
They were
right.
they were all there.
But then we meet Ricky, and I mean, and actually, normally you're just making small talk and you're trying to be interesting, and then you're like, I don't know if I want to talk to this person anymore, and you were immediately trying to help us,
Oh, we
which I
started
thought was
talking. Well,
cool.
literally, I mean, I know Chris, who's Chris Stone, cast ahead. I'm sorry, I almost
Cast
did
ahead.
right. Cast ahead. He was a phenomenal producer, and I'm like, you want to grow your podcast? I'm like, dude, I know somebody can
Oh
help
yeah,
you.
you were like, this guy's
Like,
the guru.
you should. People have helped me in my life. I want to help. I want to unsolicited. I want to help other people. And sorry, Chris, that I butchered the name of your company. It's castahead.com.
Well, I tell you, and props to you actually for bringing it up yet again, because that's the first thing you said to us is like, hey guys, and you tried to figure out a way to help us. You didn't even talk about yourself.
Nope.
And in fact, we even asked, and you said, no, but you guys are on a podcast. Hey, look, before I leave, let me give you my card and let's connect. And then the holidays hit, and just like everything, things kind of shut down for a lot of us and didn't go as fast. And the day I was going to contact Ricky, he contacts me. I'm like, he said, I'm going to help you.
Well, I knew that though.
And he was ready to help.
So he's not just a
I'm just in your head.
hypnotist; he's a mind reader.
Yeah, I'm
He
in
is
your
a
head.
mind reader. I mean, he's
Yeah.
He
already
knows what
into
you
it.
need way more than you know what you need.
I have no idea what I need. We all know that.
We know.
That's
Well,
easy.
we know.
But we're back.
Sometimes
So,
we need-
so Ricky, so
I
Ricky,
love this
did
segue.
you just fall out of the cradle, went to school, and then bang, you figured out I'm gonna leverage your mindset.
It's kind of weird. I grew up in St. Louis. I was a kid magician, entrepreneur spirit. So if your listeners are entrepreneurs, which I know they are, I was just driven by business as a young kid, and I loved it. I mean, magic, being a magician really was like, I'm talking like my first gigs were like 12, 13, 14 years old. And, oh yeah, I was making like $10 a show. It was pretty cool.
Dude, you were making the bit.
You were turning it.
Seriously,
Yeah, no.
he was making money at $12.
Yeah.
At 12, baby. Come on.
It was very cool. And I got really into the magic business. I met a hypnotist, did not believe in hypnosis. Literally, I was like, what is this stuff set up? And literally it kind of fell in my lap, just building a relationship with somebody. And he said, I want to teach you how to do it. And I said, why? Like, why would you teach me? And he literally said, because I think you can do something that nobody else has done. And he asked me, what would you do? And I said, after watching hypnosis for the first time, I said I would probably do the opposite of what everybody else. He goes, that's exactly why I want to teach you.
How old were you?
At that time, I was 15.
Holy
Wow.
cow.
Yeah. So I worked on the show for 2.5, give or take 3 years. My first show, I was 18 years old and with doing hypnosis. And my first client was Anheuser-Busch. I booked a Christmas party during their holiday party. Crazy. I know.
So back in the day,
Yeah.
Anheuser-Busch
No
stuff.
pressure.
So when we're talking about what was the time period on that one?
This was 1987.
Oh,
We're
Augie
still
Busch.
partying, but
Yeah.
you're not the 70s where they probably were breaking out the bourbon and feeding the 18-year-old a bunch of bourbon.
No,
But-
no. I didn't tell anybody I was 18. I was wearing a tuxedo. I was trying to look older than I was. I just came in and just took control of the room and did the show. And it was so successful. Good thing. Good thing.
Yeah.
And I'd booked a couple that month and they were all successful. And I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do with my career. Went to college. I'm a University of Missouri grad and go Tigers. But I knew I was going to blow this up. And so when college was over, I pretty much worked every comedy club in the country, 42 weeks a year on the road in my early 20s. But my driven passion was to create programs for corporate events. So I would do everything from contractor events to trucking to hospitality to pharma to financial. It doesn't make a difference. But the show led to, okay, that's not what I thought this was. Nobody was being controlled and you didn't make fun of anybody. It was a fun experience. And by the way, look how well these people relaxed and they dispelled their limiting beliefs and they were so present. See,
Ooh.
people are like, okay.
I'm talking
And-
now.
Yeah. And then
I
I
want a
started
present,
yeah.
Alan.
And then I created
Can I get a
programs.
present? Oh, be present.
Yeah. And that's what all started. I created programs to help people.
Never mind. I was
I'm
I
not,
was
I
going to go
didn't,
off
I
on a
didn't
rant.
pick up what he put down, but I
No,
followed.
he's never present. He's always just off in the future and on the speedboat with the bikinis.
That's true.
That's right.
What? Big
Huh?
fast go boat. Let's
That's
go.
right.
Yeah.
Big fast.
So
go.
let me ask you a question. How would you like to sleep better, feel better, have more energy, be more focused, be more present,
Be present,
be
not get a
present,
present.
be more driven, be more clear towards your direction, or really just put your positive intentions into action? Does any of that resonate with you?
I'm kind of neutral on that. No, I'm just
So you're
kidding.
comfortable
No,
with the status quo.
Right. No,
Yes.
I'd rather just go.
That one's fine.
I'm
champion.
fine.
I don't want to make any more money in life. I'm just comfortable in the backyard.
I'm just going to ride it out till my death.
Yeah.
Alan says, just let me put my jammies on and watch Matlock. Okay.
Chris, on the other hand, he's in. He's all in. He
Yeah.
wants everything better and bigger than
Of course I
everybody
do.
else.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Which is why I
That's why
asked
we're doing this.
when you autographed the book and you wrote, Alan, mindset matters more than Chris. He's laughing now, but it's going to piss him off for a long time. And I thoroughly enjoy that. And I thank you very much.
I'm laughing.
problem.
I'm laughing on the outside, and I'm actually not laughing.
Yeah,
because I'm
I get
outside.
the finger, and I'm going to have a
Wish you
flat
guys had
tire.
it.
I'm going to have a flat tire when I go back out to my
That's
car.
right. I might be packing, but I can take out tires, baby. All right. So you never went the corporate route. You said, I'm going to give this thing a shot. And
No,
you-
I've
working
never.
comedy clubs is hard.
Yeah, I
Let's
did.
talk about that one.
Well, I did it for years.
No, he laid down the don't you want the.
Oh yeah, I do want that.
Oh,
Yeah,
so the next
yes,
part of that
sign
is
me up.
most people know what they want to do.
This is why I'm here. I keep Chris back to
Keeping
the
us
present.
online.
Yeah, that's right.
The real, if you wrap it all up in a bow, most people know what they want to do. They want to be richer, happier, more productive, whatever, spend more time with their family, whatever. I think we know what we want, but sometimes our intentions get clouded by a distraction, or we put things in their proper perspective and we don't. We kind of compartmentalize things at times. And we forget that we can control our outcomes. So my whole career has been based on teaching people how to get out of their own way, how to relax and reduce stress, how to put that intention to action and a plan to create the habit to make it a reality versus, I wish I could have done this. I wish I would have done this. I could never be as successful as the guy down the street. I could never break that. If you say to yourself, if we could never break 5 mil, we can never break it. Well, then you're probably right. So move on to something else because you've already in your head said you can't do it. So your mind hears that and wins to fail based on that belief.
So you're getting rid of the cancerous self-doubt.
All right. Well,
1,000%.
Right.
1,000%. And there's a cure. There's a cure. And we always have that remote control.
All right. So
Are you hypnotizing us right now?
Absolutely.
no, wait. So the cancer over here has a question. So cancer is saying blah, 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 mindset, blah, 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 mindset, blah, blah, blah. How do you break through that? Because a lot of us have that, right? I mean, most of our thoughts are negative. So how do you break through it? Give us a little nugget.
It's rewriting the thoughts. I mean, if your programming is always doing the same thing over and over again, and you know what you should be doing, what are you doing to change it?
It's the definition of insanity, right? I mean, age-old.
No, I think we get very comfortable saying it's too hard. Why start if it's going to be difficult? If it's going to cause pain in our head? If we assume that we might fail, why start? Because we don't want to fail and nobody likes to feel that pain. So again, I'm going to say it as an entrepreneur takes a risk. A risk with maybe a parachute.
What is our parachute? Because I didn't feel like I had one. I mean, people have said this all the time. Said, well, it's easy to jump when your wife had a good job. I'm like, I never thought like that, ever.
Mm-hmm.
It never was in my mind. My parachute was, I'm going to jump at 37 because I figured if I failed, I could go back. And now here I am. Now, 17
But
years
you were
later,
confident enough where you didn't think you needed a parachute.
I didn't think.
Yeah,
I wasn't
I'm
thinking
jumping out
parachute.
of this plane. I don't need a parachute.
I was, again, back in the book, From the Zoo to the Wild. I mean, I jumped and I said, man, I'm rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. I never thought I was going to stop. But that was naivete a little bit, right? And a little bit of, people call it balls, whatever. But
Hubris.
confidence. Ellen, please, thank you. All right. So tell us a little bit about that, because this parachute, do you have to have that parachute? Does that help you jump?
Well, I'm not saying everybody's parachute is going to be different. Everybody's desires are going to be different. Everybody's outcomes are different, right? I mean, there's no one size fits all here. What I'm saying is that sometimes you have to get really uncomfortable with the uncomfortable. You have to release yourself from the familiar to embrace the unfamiliar.
Ooh, man, he's saying stuff that I need to process, and that's not That's not good to do.
But that's okay.
On
I mean,
air.
you got to ask yourself questions sometimes.
Everybody, we're going to lose Alan here in a minute.
Yeah.
He's gone off into a trance. Oh, Alan's got the own going on. He's clicking. The fingers are clacking. Next thing you know, he's burning incense on me. I'm like, what the hell, Alan? Put that away. Put it away, Alan, please.
No, there's smoke coming out of my head already.
Yeah, no. So, but at a young age, you were doing this. You were saying, oh, I'm going to work the comedy. But the idea was I still had a business plan in my head.
Right.
The saying that I'm going to go do this. So how do you action that and get that moving? Because you're doing one thing to get to another thing. And I think for a lot of us, we're like, but if I start a handyman business, I'm doing this to become a handyman. I start a knife sharpening business because I want to be a knife sharpener.
Or do you want to be a franchise owner of a knife sharpening business?
There we go. Let's change that mindset.
You know, or do you want, if you're a handyman, do you want to own the business? You know, do you love the business of construction? And then do you say, well, I'd like to, how do I scale me? Because there's only one me, but can I scale the business? You have to step back and actually look at it from the audience point of view. Like if I looked at my brand and what my services are, how do I grow that business versus, do you want to build a lot of houses or do you just want to build one house? Do you want to redo one basement or redo a lot of basements? I mean, I just, you know, I'm just thinking about the contractors and out there, just, you know, sometimes it's good to step back because so much of what we think about that we unconsciously do, we're not aware of. Our patterns, our habits. I mean, you get up in the morning, you do probably the same things every single day. You know, we do the normal things. We get dressed, we brush our teeth, we might get our coffee. But are there other things that we do once we get to our desk? Have we created patterns and habits that maybe have served us at one point? But maybe if you step back and you realize, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be doing this type of stuff. Maybe I can hire somebody to do the $10 an hour stuff. Because in my business, I'm worth more than $10 an hour. And if I'm doing $10 an hour stuff, you're wasting what you're doing.
Guys, we are getting absolute gems dropped on us. These are gold nuggets all the way around. Ricky gets to go around and talk to Fortune 1, Fortune 500 companies, and they pay him a lot of money for what you're getting for free right now. So pay attention. Don't drive that car into the ditch just yet. Pull over to the side gently and just listen a little bit more. So, Ricky, one of the things you said was we have to change our mindset and change our habits. That's really hard for us to do.
Nope. See, you're right. If you say that, that's the first thing. It's like, you're absolutely right. It's really hard. So my biggest challenge with you now isn't changing the habit, it's changing what you're saying.
You're such a butthead.
I am.
I mean, he's been talking about it already for 20 minutes.
But that's okay because you're not alone. Everybody does this. And we're going to talk about golf for a second. I mean, you think you guys are golfers.
Oh, Ellen's back.
All right.
Hello.
Back on the incense tent.
You're playing a normal course you're used to, and you're talking to yourself during that round. How often have you identified a hole that you haven't even approached yet, already knowing that's going to be a difficult hole? So now you're so worried about where you are on 5, and you haven't gotten to 15 yet because you know at 5 you've got to show up, because if you mess up 5, you're already strokes behind now, and you're going to have to attack
15 always gets me.
Right. So if you already now are thinking about something that hasn't even happened yet, you're already sabotaging your success before you even start.
Do you have what it takes to start your own business? Are you tired of the 9-to-5 corporate job and ready to make that leap into entrepreneurship? Then you need to check out From the Zoo to the Wild, the new book by successful entrepreneur Chris Lalvani. This book is a unique perspective on the journey into the wild world of home services and delivering excellence in service while working in customers' homes. Lalvani shares his path to success in this industry, including proven customer relationship strategies, award-winning customer experience processes, and a unique approach to training a team of service technicians to perform at the highest levels. Whether you're a small business trying to scale or a franchise operation, From the Zoo to the Wild will give you the mindset, habits, leadership style, and customer-oriented processes to succeed as a small business owner in the home services space. So if you're ready to take control of your future, get your copy of From the Zoo to the Wild today, available on Amazon. How about that? That's called being present, and that's exactly what we all do. So I've heard this phrase, let's use golfers, and we'll use that metaphor back to business, is that the difference between an amateur golfer and a pro golfer is that when the pro golfer mishits a shot, he doesn't think about that last shot. He doesn't dwell on it. He doesn't think about all the bad things that just happened, all the bad. He goes, the next shot I hit is going to be my next best shot.
Absolutely.
So how do we do that? How do we in business, right? And we took a chance, we did something, hey, it didn't work. Now what?
I've always kind of thought, like when I'm doing a speech or a keynote or even a show that I do, whatever I did yesterday, it's done. And now I got to focus on the next one being even better. And if I don't do that, then I'm in trouble. Because if I stay at the same level of mindset that, well, that was fine, why fix it? Why fix it if it's not broken? Then I'm going to continually do the same material all over again. It's just going to be recycled, and that's not good. In business, we all know that we have to reinvent ourselves. Or no, you don't. I'm sorry, you don't have to. You can stay comfortable. If you're comfortable right now, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. But if you have the mindset, not to overplay that word here, but if you have the mindset that I want to grow, I deserve more, I want to grow my business, I want to grow a better team, I want to reduce burnout, I want to keep my employees happy, right? I mean, that's important because what does it cost you to replace an employee?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are staggering.
It's ridiculous.
It's horrible.
It's ridiculous these days. And then it's hard to find somebody. As I just said, it's hard to find somebody. Ooh,
We're going to fix that mindset for you,
Yeah.
Ricky. Don't worry about that. Alan's coming out of the
this is
he's
the
all
thing that
ready
people
to go.
say. It's hard to find somebody to replace so-and-so. And now so I'm just going to keep that one employee because I know if they're slowing me down, that's fine, but I don't have the time. Well, okay, but let's talk about this. It's a business. And it's a for-profit business, right? I mean,
We're a for-profit business. There's been years where I doubt that, but yes, most of the time I'm trying to go for-profit, Alan.
Is that right?
Most
Is
of
that
the-
a switch?
I'm striving.
Yep.
Yes. There's been years where I've actually been not-for-profit.
right. So you have to, I think you have to remind yourself that you are a for-profit business. And is this profitable? And is this going to help me grow my business? And again, I'm going to use this phrase. It's so important, I think, but at the end of the day, you don't have to decompress and you don't have to get too philosophical here. But isn't it nice when you hit the pause button at the end of the day?
So you talk about that in your app and you talk about that in your book, I believe, the pause app. What is the pause? Because I don't like to pause.
Well, how many times
No,
between
Chris is
even the two
human
of you
California
have you
stop.
have you told each other to do something and it was a command, right? Hey, you need to relax. You need to loosen up. You need to, you need to focus better. You need to be more aware, whatever. It's easy for people to say that in life. You need to. Well, that's a command. And you might agree with what they're saying to you, but is that a solution?
No.
No, it kind of pisses you off when someone
100%
says,
pisses you right off, right? Hey, Chris, just get away from the business.
Yeah, you need to chill out.
You need to chill.
So if I walked up to you,
I get you chill right here, bro.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, that's all right. I'm ahead of myself.
Yeah.
If I walked up to you and if I knew you were stressed out and we were off the air and I could just see on your face, if I said you look stressed, that just kind of validates, okay, yeah, I know already. You don't have to tell me. Like it's not like you're not a mind reader. I know I'm stressed. But wouldn't it be better if I walked up to you and said, hey, listen, the other day, I want to tell you something really funny, a story. And I just completely redirected the whole conversation. I knew you were stressed and I just wanted to just tell you something stupid or funny. Doesn't that reset your mindset at that very moment?
It does. That's a great pattern interrupt. We talk about
right.
that in sales all the time.
Okay.
You did an incredible pattern interrupt.
Yeah, and I use trigger words like on the golf course with golfers. I tell them to think. We use certain trigger words that completely shift what you're thinking about at that moment.
like shank. That's a trigger word for me.
Exactly. Okay.
Puzzle rocket.
Yeah, that's
And I'm sure
I got a lot of them.
I'm sure it works really well.
I could go on for days.
Don't shank.
Oh God, don't suck now. do not hit in the water. Do not hit the water. Damn it.
And there you do.
You do.
Because why?
Because you're focused on not hitting it in the water.
That's Bob Rotella talks about that in his book. And
Who is this guy?
Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob, godfather of
Dr. Bob's not on our podcast. Alan.
Dr.
I got
Bob
Ricky. I got Dr. Ricky.
has made me a much more mediocre golfer than I deserve to be.
All right, well then you come to me. I'm gonna blow it up.
Is that right? Well, I heard you're going to make me break 80, but yeah, I mean, it was if you're standing on the tee and you say don't hit it in the water, you're going to hit it in the water. And so, in other words, you should just pick a specific target, like not just that tree, but a leaf on that tree. And it's sort of the aim small, miss small. You remember
Yeah.
the Patriot? Yeah.
Correct.
And so the tighter your target, the more likely you're going to hit it in that general direction. It's helped me a ton.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Allen.
Hey, thanks for letting me talk, Chris, for
was fun.
more than 30 seconds.
No, that was a good one. No, to be honest, the aim small, big, miss small.
That resonated with you because you like the Patriot.
I do love the
I
Patriot.
know
I'm
you do.
telling you what, man, every year. That's an annual one for me.
I have a
God,
question. I got a question. The whole mindset shift thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody knows that they need to think better and they need to be more positive. But at some point, the hardest customer to sell is yourself. You need to think better. So let's take hypothetically a guy named Chris who is just always negative and, always downer and all that stuff. And Chris, this hypothetical person, knows he needs to think more positively, but how do you believe it? I mean, is there is that where the hypnosis comes in?
Well, I think there's several layers of it. So I don't think hypnosis is the quick fix to anything.
And
So
I
I
was
don't.
kind of kidding with that.
No,
but
no, no, but no. I think it's a great. No, I want to explain that though because
Okay.
Yeah, I
I
do
will
like
have
this one.
people say to me, Ricky, can you just hypnotize me and just snap your fingers and just get rid of all this stuff, whatever I got going on in my life. It's a very common thing. Or quit smoking, or quit vaping, or quit eating, or playing better sport. Just snap your fingers. Just put me under. I've seen what you do. And you have to look beyond what this is. It's not what I do. And both of you kind of alluded to this a few moments ago. You have to realize that you are in control of your thoughts, not me. And the most powerful hypnotist in the world is ourselves. And so as you dive into my content and everything I do, you start to realize it's not about the session of closing your eyes and breathing and the scripting that I teach you and how to create words and trigger words and little things of redirects. It's all of that combined together. So, for example, when you're in an industry, whether it's contracting or whether you're in the food industry, the more you're involved in that industry, the better you get at it, right? The more people you know, the more people you network with, the more you know about the products, how they're made, where they're sourced. You know everything about it. In fact, from even the wood, the lumber that you use, you already know, oh, that's a better supplier. You know that it's going to be more resilient, right?
He knows that. Wow, that's funny because I was like, yeah, how does he know that? Damn, he's good at this. All right, come on, everybody. He's good
So
at
my
this.
question is, if you know your business, which I know you do you know yourself as well? And I think it's a deeper dive. And there's nothing wrong with taking that pause, we go back to it, and realizing and setting some time for yourself. And I'm not talking light a candle and feel this, special, time and you're going to have this meditation. No, 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 no. Let's look beyond all that stuff. Sure, those are nice things to get mindful. But I think the more you dive into this and you start to realize it, the more you start talking about it to yourself, and then you start talking about it to other people. And when you lead within yourself as an individual and you start to see the small little changes every day, people around you start to notice it.
That's a great point. So there's the pause, and that is trying to reprogram yourself. You don't have to do it all at once. It's not
not
you,
going
you
to
actually
happen.
said it. It's not a snap your fingers and bam, you lost 20 pounds. It's not snap your fingers and bam, you're at 10 million. Snap your fingers and you're shooting under 80. Is it
Are those
I don't know.
hitting
Maybe I can help you with
close to
that.
home on all three of those, Chris?
all three
All
of
three.
those?
Yeah.
Yes. Because so anyway, hit them all.
Just 20, huh?
I just need to get about 20. I do two at a time, I think is what I gotta do. Two at each, by the way. So that's an inside joke.
Yeah.
And by the way, the good news is the PA is still living. So that's good. And so the long joke is, Ricky, is that we're checking my A1C because now I'm in the obese category.
Oh, officially?
That's what she told me.
Yeah.
I was she goes, if you lose 20 pounds, you're 10 pounds, you'll be right on the edge. I'm like, that's awesome. Thank
Your
you.
goal is just solidly overweight.
I just want to be solidly overweight. So no, back to Ricky and talking about the pause, please. Thank you. But that story is for another day. I've said it before on the podcast, everybody. It's a good one. But when somebody tells you that for the first time, especially when you work out, you do all the things you do, you lift some weights. And
Doctors suck sometimes. I mean, I told you about what my doctor said on the last physical.
Yeah.
Do you think about death much?
Sorry,
Not until now.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because we're selling
every day now.
packages.
That's right.
We're selling.
They're setting you up for the afterlife. Anyway,
Ricky is looking. I love that, looking at the business opportunity there. That's what Ricky
positive
does.
he is.
Always looking-
that's my mind.
He is always looking for the business. All right. So let's
I
talk.
sleep with a notepad.
That's awesome.
in my head.
Oh my God, that's awesome. All right, we're changing our mindset here, people. We're trying to do it little steps at a time. Take those little pauses, do those little things. So a couple things, maybe.
Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, I love to help people. I really do. And that's kind of how we met. And I was under that philosophy that when I was a young man, somebody helped me in all parts of my life, from helping me buy my mentors, helped me buy my first car, helped me start my first business, helped me pick which college to go to, what to do next in life. They didn't spoon feed everything, but they gave me little nuggets that I picked up on. And I realized it wasn't what they were giving, is that they were serving and they were helping me. And I'm like, you know what? I really love doing this. I want to do what I was given at a young age, the unsolicited, unbiased, no hidden agenda. Hey, if I could help you out, it just happens.
So I love that you're doing this. So let's go to some of the highlights of your, we've been teaching, we've been preaching, we've been talking, we've been doing all this stuff. What was the best keynote you ever gave? Like the one you just came out from, man, I just can't.
I wish I knew you were going to ask me something like that. So here's a weird thing.
Because we want to live in that moment.
No.
What was that high? You came out there, you're like, oh my God,
Okay.
I killed.
There's two ways I'm going to answer this. That first gig that I ever did, the first time I ever did a hypnosis show, I remember it like was yesterday. I actually found the picture of that first event. It wasn't the first paid event, which was Anheuser-Busch. It was a free event that I did. And walking out of there that day was the best event I ever did. Now, it's kind of mediocre, compared to what I've done now, but I've learned so much.
But it was euphoric.
It was. And I walked out of there going, this is a freaking business and I love doing it. And I'll never work the rest of my life. Literally, this will be a business. I won't have to work, if you know what I'm leading into.
Yeah, 100%.
So good thing that happened, because if it would have sucked, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. But I know I'd be doing something adventurous. So going back to the best gig was that it worked, and I just knew, and I looked at this as a business, not as I never looked at what I'm doing as for fame. Although the more you do, more people know you, but I never looked at trying to be famous. But the more anyway. So now, my goal is, and ever since then, is always to walk off stage with the best gig. Like when I walk off stage, that was the best one ever.
Right.
Now, that's not always true. That I've had some events that, maybe I wasn't on point, or maybe whatever it was, maybe the audience wasn't getting a vibe, and I had to work a little bit harder. So it was harder for me to pull them in, and that happens. If they don't know you and they don't care, and like, who's this guy? And I'm going to be spending an hour listening to him. And my job is right now to win them over as quickly as possible, because I want to show you I have value, and your time watching for the next hour is going to be worth it. You can work a little bit harder on those.
You hit on something, I think, for a lot of us who are not, we are not presenters. We are not people who are out there doing show gigs. Our audience basically is out there working with customers every day or whatever we do. But you hit on the same thing that we have the same problem with, is that when you're doing a sales pitch, you're in front of somebody, you're not resonating with them, and you got to read that customer, and you got to come around, and you got to figure out how to do that. So when you come off and you go, that was So what do you do? How do you change your mindset? Because obviously you have a way better mindset than me.
Okay, let's use an example. So let's say you go in, you present to give me a scenario. Give me something so it resonates with your audience.
Yeah, so I get the 10-step sales process. I go in there to kill in a bathroom, right, guys? I'm in there talking to them about a bathroom. I got the husband, I got the wife there. We're talking. I think I figured out who the main buyer is, and I'm talking to her about everything that's going to go on. Right. And we sit there, and then we do the price conditioning, and I think I got heads nodding. I'm ready to go, and I'm going to put this all together, and I'm going to get them that bid back, and I lost it. Okay. And I'm like, I thought I had it. I thought I had the whole thing.
So, okay.
I was euphoric.
Well, first of all, I love your industry, because in my, I guess, a kid in the candy store when it comes to construction and housing and remodeling, this is kind of like in my head all the time. I do think I look at houses sometimes going, oh, I would change this, I would change that. So
are you a DIY guy?
I am.
Good.
I am.
And I'll tell you what we just got done training my guys on this morning is how to handle your caulk, boys. And so what we did is I had my operation manager go up there, and he worked it clean, and I got in there and I got everything they remembered. And that's right, because caulk comes in all different kinds of sizes, different colors, different things. And you have to treat your caulk different every time. And you got to always put your caulk in that right crack. You never put it in a hole, always a crack. All right. That's what we do. And that's how my guys remember things. That's
see
my
what
training
see what
tip.
I got to deal with.
All right, let's go back to Ricky. Can we please?
So in my world, in my head, instead of dwelling on why I didn't get it, I would probably go back to them because I'm in the customer service business. At the end of the day, if I'm working with a corporate client or whatever it may be, if I lost an event for some reason or a client, I'd want to let them know that I'm there for them in the future, and that's an important thing. If they ever change their mind, and if you have any issues,
So you're not slashing tires at that
no,
point.
no, I'm not, because
Make a
you
note
know
of
what?
that, Chris.
Maybe it just wasn't the right fit, or maybe something, maybe my style wasn't for them. But letting them know that this was a great connection, and that I'm there for you, and I want to serve you, and I want to help you out, versus going, I put all this time, I put all this energy, I bidded everything out. You know where I'm going with that. And your head, you're mad. To me, that doesn't fuel your business. So again, that's a change of reality of that you got to get in the solutions business. And the solution is,
Making
hey,
notes over here, people.
I have heard stories about, I have a friend. Okay. This true story.
I have a lot of friends, but yes.
I have a friend that's going through a remodel right now. I'm not just throwing this out there.
Different kind of friend, Chris.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
Going
sorry.
through a remodel. He has fired 2 contractors. Okay. The one that he's using now, he said, I just feel like they really do care. They really care. It's like they're checking in. Is everything done the way every little layer now is being double checked on everything. And he feels like they're invested in making me happy, because they know that if my friend's saying this, they know if I'm happy, I'm going to tell my friends about my experience. Because in business, regardless of what you're selling, you want to create walking billboards.
Love that one, because we talk about this. 42% of my business comes from repeat clients. The good thing about my business is because we get to do so many different things. The hard part about my business is that we do so many different things, and to deliver that same customer experience every time does take a mindset shift. So that
Did you say mind shits?
I was thinking mind shifts.
Okay.
40,
This is
can I get hypnotized and just like click,
Can
click,
you
click, move me
leverage
down
your
20?
mindset?
I know I do it, but Ricky hit on those points. I think that's the stuff that's crazy, because when you think you kill it and you don't, you know what you do? You kill them back with kindness, because a lot of people, which we've heard, is that you lost the job. But what we do know is that 60% of the people you lost, 40% of them didn't do anything. So you get a chance to go back and re-win them. Think about that one for a minute. Change your mindset.
Starting to sound like Yogi Berra.
What's that?
Who is that?
The Yankees guy.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I love it. Okay, don't do that to Alan.
So,
90% is half mental. That's the kind of numbers you were given just now.
That was it, though. Yeah, the 40% is that. So you win 40% of your job. 60% don't go, right? Only 20% of them actually did the job. 40% are still sitting there going, decided not to do it.
So then you slash their tires.
Well, so now I actually, because I heard this one, I stopped slashing tires. I just nick them and take out a few mailboxes. But that's a different story. I'm not that kind of
little
I'm not that
reminder,
kind of
little love note.
I got a lot of friends, Ricky. I got a lot of friends.
What's
You're
the
from
biggest?
St. Louis? You know what I'm saying?
What you talking about?
Okay.
What do you think the biggest objection in your business is? What's the biggest
Price,
hurdle?
all day
Price.
long.
Okay, of course it is. But in the world of making the right decision, what I think when you present to people, you shouldn't be thinking of price. If price wasn't if price had nothing to do with am I the right choice?
Right.
So if you can create a mindset that get them to stop thinking about how much they're spending and get them thinking about what they're getting versus selling something, you're offering solutions.
Talk about value versus price.
Right.
Absolutely. We talk about that quite a bit. And that's a great point.
And we do talk about that a lot. And I think you have to be somewhat in the ballpark. But Chris, don't you think if you're within 10%, 15%, but you're just presenting better and they feel more comfortable with you, you're going to get the job?
100% I do.
Yeah.
Back to my Yogi Berra math. I think so, yes. But yeah, I mean, if you're close, I think you got to
100% of the time. 60% of the time works 100% of the time.
It's like it was, yeah. Can we get back to Ricky, please?
No,
right.
I'm asking you, seriously.
So seriously, I would say if you're 10 to 15% in the ballpark, we can usually win because of our reputation, our process, and what we do, because we do know.
So it goes back. I mean, my opinion is, because some people will come in and just throw a ridiculous number,
Right.
but the bottom line, when you say people are price conscious, they just don't want to be screwed. I think that's
Is it? I think it's twofold there. I think
Yeah, I
because-
want to hear more about, because this is where you guys have helped me more, because I have a perspective, but I've been doing this for
Well,
16 years.
okay,
and get my
so
head beat in by these guys.
I'll give you a personal story. Okay, I found 15 years ago we had to have our floors redone. I went with the lowest. I was on the road all the time. I looked at the bids. I wasn't paying attention. Hardwood floors, just sanded, restained, and clear coat on top. Right, clear coat, but
No, you did sand it down. I'm
stain,
sorry, stain, and then
the-
2 coats of collie.
poly,
2
poly.
coats of
Okay,
poly.
right, exactly. So we had several bids. I'm traveling all the time. I looked it on the road, and I'm like, just that's fine. Go with that bid. All right. I wasn't there. I didn't meet anybody, and I never met the contractors. Okay, because I was traveling a lot. Okay. Not that my wife made a bad decision. I'm the one who made the decision at the end of the day. She asked me what to do. She said, "You make the decision. You knew more about this area than I do at the time," and I went with the cheaper bid. And we had problems later on. I should have been a little bit not focused on price and should have asked for more references. I should have asked to talk to each contractor. I think about what I made, the mistake I made.
And I would tell you, I think the contractor is the one who made the mistake. And that's what I would tell everybody here, is that we're all in the sales business. A lot of everybody here talking about this, whether you're contracting, whether you're trying to scale a business, it's your job to educate your customer, to have them be educated before you get that sale.
Correct.
Because if I got you educated, you would have went, my God, I have to go with you because you're going to take care of it. Because I would have said, Ricky, what's the most important thing to you? Well, you're putting my wife out for a week because you got to redo my floors. I'm traveling all the time. I don't care, but you can't have her do that. Okay, that's an important thing. Ricky, let me understand a little bit more about that. And I'm flipping that around. And when you start hitting their pain points and start doing that, you sold your value proposition. Then you would have gone for me, not even 10 to 15%. He would have paid me easily 50%
Right.
more. He would have if I had a chance to talk to him, but I never had a chance. That's the hard thing about a 0-leg sale or a 1-leg sale. We do them at my company. A lot of home service companies say I will not do it without 2 legs, all decision makers being there. But when you're on the roll and you're
is
doing
that a
it,
little inside baseball. 1-leg sale, 2-leg sale.
yeah. So 1-leg is I have 1 decision maker there. 2-leg is I have both decision makers there. So now I have the stool. So now I'm there with the 2, and I can get a decision at the point when they're ready to make that rock and roll happen. Let's go. I'm ready to roll. Well, come on now. Let's go sell something.
I'm going to give you a nugget here. Regardless of what you're selling, whether you're fixing a bathroom, remodeling something, building a house, you are creating an experience for the customer. And you have to remind yourself they're going to be living with that after you're gone. In their head, they're going to be thinking about you, and you're not in the room. So when you leave a job, when you leave a customer, think about what's being said about you when you're not in the room. Because most decisions, reactions, conclusions, feelings, and emotions about you in sales are made about you, not face to face.
Ooh, there's a big gold nugget. Man, we're coming to the end of this thing. We got so much more to unpack. So, Ricky, you got your book, but you also have an app.
Have my book. My first book, Leverage Your Mindset, is supported by a mobile app. Now, the book can be bought on Amazon, Leverage Your Mindset. You can look it up, and you will notice that the next book is already out, and pre-orders are available. It releases April 8th. It's Leverage Your Mindset for golfers.
Uh-oh.
And
oh, wait, everybody, we're hanging on. We're
That
going to
could
stand
be
a
the
little
new
bit longer.
Bible.
you could do a whole nother show.
Hang on now.
I'm going to show golfers how to literally get out of your own way and enjoy the game you love playing and not be frustrated with the inner voice that holds you back. Now, you did say the mobile app. You can download my mobile app, which is a support product to everything I do. I can teach you all these different cool things within the app, from just relaxing or sleeping better, playing better sports, growing your business confidence.
So I downloaded the app, Alan. I've been listening to it. I have to say, as soon as it came on, it was very calming, soothing. And then I get a call from one of my guys. Something not going right. And guess what?
Rage.
Chris went right back to where he
Volcano.
likes to ride.
That's right.
I'm
Phone
like,
off.
hey, you know what? As the Hulk says,
Yeah.
the answer is always stay mad, my
I
friend.
mean, I cannot wait for the golf book Because my mindset is you suck, you suck, you suck. Why do you suck so much? Quit sucking. It's just pretty much every variation of suck you can think of.
All right, so Ricky, here's one in golf. So I hit a long putt, it goes in.
Okay.
What should I say to myself?
You didn't suck so much that time.
Thank you, Alan.
I
was
wouldn't
asking
say
Ricky.
anything. I would just go on to the next hole.
You wouldn't go, huh? I got lucky
I'd celebrate it for a second. Good job.
You don't go, oh my God, I just got so lucky there. I can't
No,
believe that
that's
thing
not luck. It's talent. It's skills. It's mechanics. It's everything. I would celebrate the moment. Hey, that's great. But I wouldn't stay. I mean, if you're still playing, if you still got more, holes ahead, I wouldn't focus too much on jumping up and down. I would just, okay, move on, go to the next one.
No, I usually go, huh, can't believe that went in. I think it must have hit a rocket, actually. Did I hit a pebble there? I must have hit somebody's divot. I don't know
Says
how
the
that got-
guy who celebrated like I don't know what when he won an $80 parlay in Vegas.
All right. Do we want to talk about that one for a minute? 'Cause
Just a
that was
second.
killer, bro.
I know.
I had Saquon on.
But everybody
anytime
else in the
touchdown.
casino thought that you probably won 10 grand or something.
I
You won
literally-
$81
I
and
put a
20 cents.
$20 bet down. I'm at the Fountain Blue out in Las Vegas. These guys are all laying down thousands, probably tens of thousands. I put $20 down at a parlay because that's big flipping money for me, right? So I go out there, I hit the parlay, I hit it, I run up and down the Fountain Blue. Those guys all
Like high fiving the whole casino,
The whole
right?
casino was up. I'm hitting everybody. I'm like, because you know what? I just won $81 of that parlay, bro. It was a huge one. I can't believe.
I'm with you. It makes a big difference. It's like,
These cats thought this kid, he's like, oh man, this guy's going to the high roller section here in a minute because he just hit something big. And he did $81. All right. So back to the golf thing. You do work with people. So let's talk about that. You're working with PGA professionals, you're working with the high dogs. Who are you working
if you're a golfer and you are committed and you are really into your game and you want to lower if you already know the mechanics, I'm not a golfer. I'll tell people, I'm like, I play
Really?
once a year, maybe. That's it. So that's the cool part. Yeah. I'm not there to work on your mechanics. I'm not there to figure out what you're doing wrong in your game. I'm there for that space between your ears.
Oh, that's it. Hang on, that voodoo you do. Tell me how a guy who doesn't even play but once a year is going to tell me how to play better.
I'm not there to talk about anything on the mechanics part. But the biggest challenge golfers have, is that internal voice. We've talked about this.
So you
for
could
an hour.
just strike through golf on the title and put tennis
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
hockey.
Those will be future books.
Okay.
Oh, the teaser,
And
everybody.
I'm not trying to keep a secret here. I tell people you're not hiring me as a golf pro. You're hiring me as a mindset pro. So if you need help with your mechanics, then do not come back to me after you've gone to a golf pro. And so that's what we dive into. It's literally because even at the top of the show, we talked about these pro golfers, what are they thinking about? How are they reacting? What is going through their mindset as they, do something? And we've all seen this on all these different golf channels and all these different tournaments where the pro does something like, I can't believe they did that, but they get out of it quick. You never see them react to it.
Oh, that's my favorite line, right? So I've been to Augusta, went to the Masters, humble brag. Thank you. I'll do it some more. But I've been out there and no shit, Jason Day sculls one, hits it over the green, right? And it was on 4. Guy next to me goes, I could do that. So we pair out. The ball's right in front of us. He comes up. He's got a short chip to get back on the green. But this thing is like laser fast going off the green. And he sticks it within 1 foot. And I look over at that guy and go, could you do that? No,
Right.
that's those guys.
Exactly. Because in their head, doesn't matter where the ball goes. They're already thinking about where they're going to go next. They're not thinking about what they did and how bad it was or their embarrassment or how people are judging them, because think about it. When you're playing golf, here's another nugget. When you're out there playing with your friends and you're in a competitive in a foursome, when you're standing above the ball and you get ready to tee off and you think you're nervous a little bit because people are watching you, why are you nervous? By the way, they are not thinking about you.
But that's true.
Other golfers standing watching you, getting ready to tee off, are really not thinking about you and your game right now.
Alan,
They're thinking about themselves.
think about that.
So get that out of your head.
How about that? They're not even looking at your great swing and your smooth,
It
fluid.
still pisses you off. I've got a nice swing.
He does. Alan has a really nice
They might
swing.
be watching, but are they thinking about you?
I think Chris is.
No, I am
They-
now. Yeah. No, actually, we're going to go out and play, and I want to pop some tires. So, Ricky, this has been amazing. How can everybody find you? Let's get that out there.
All right,
Good in the show.
so everything's tagged with my name. If you want to go to your app store and download my app today, whether it's iOS or an Android device, I do not discriminate. You can go and search the title Ricky Kalmon. Go to Amazon or wherever books are sold online and look up my name, Ricky Kalmon. And there you have it. And if you want to go to my website, guess what it is?
Ricky Kalmon.
Oh my
Oh my God,
gosh.
he's a hypnotist, Alan. He's got you already trained. You came out of the incense tent. You've been saying all the stuff he's been thinking the whole time.
And it is Kalmon, Rickykalmon, Kalmon.
So how do people use the app? I mean, and I don't want to just suddenly go back into the podcast, but I mean, real quick, how do they?
You might want to use it just for a reset. You might want to use it for relaxation, stress, focus, concentration, self-confidence. Maybe you have a challenge in your life right now and you need some help overcoming the challenge. It's not therapy. I'm not preaching
But like
therapy
they can
here,
pick categories or something.
Exactly. There's a whole slew of different mindset programs and audio programs that used to be CDs, and then we converted them now to audio and everything. And so my first programs were back on cassettes, then CDs, then flash drives, then downloads, and now we're
8-track.
8 tracks. And I did not have an 8-track.
Oh, come on now. Hey, can I play it on my Blu-ray?
Yeah, my first car was an 8-track player. My first car had an 8-track player.
You had an 8-track player.
77 Cutlass
Chevelle.
Supreme.
Oh,
Which one?
77 Cutlass Supreme.
My first car was a 74 Cutlass Supreme,
Wow.
and my aunt gave it to me.
Yeah.
That was my gift when I was in Michigan.
So that probably had
was
an
a rite
8-track.
of passage.
Did it have an 8-track player?
It did not. She just had the radio because she
Gotcha.
didn't pay for the case.
Yeah, and then I had the insert.
But I had the white pleather.
Yeah, I had white
Oh,
leather,
God.
and then I had that insert to convert it to a cassette player. So if you had an 8-track player
right.
back in the
I forgot about
70s,
that.
you had an insert you can stick into the 8-track player and then play cassettes.
all right.
I used to listen to Zig Ziglar on that thing.
I listened to BTO on mine.
Oh, really? And I was listening to Ricky Squire. Stroke man. See, nobody's listening now, so we can just keep rolling. Cassette tapes. So how many mixtapes did you make off the radio?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I mean, yes, you're right. We probably did a lot. We did a lot, and still I still have 100 left of my cassettes when I made in the 90s.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And we have a box
The
of
museum.
100 still.
So remember when you had the radio playing and you had your cassette next to it, and we had the riff in Detroit. Follow me, Chris. Come on now. And the riff would play. It was, hey, it's the riff. Where we're gonna play this, and I would go record.
Yeah,
I made my mixtape off the riff. Of
course, of course.
All right, wind this up.
No, man, nobody's listening anymore. We got to keep going. No, you are.
Everybody is. We're
You know
big
what?
deal. Top
We are a big
5%.
deal. I
They're
know.
on every word.
Hey, everybody, if you didn't learn something today, change your mindset. That's what I'm going to tell you. I usually tell you.
You need to change your mindset on how long people listen to the show.
Well, you know what?
I don't care.
All right, you don't care. Let's do this. You listen. Thank you. Guys, don't forget to check us out. Man, tell your friends about a Small Business Safari. If you want to hear from me, Chris at the Trusted Toolbox, hit me up. Email. That's the best way to get me because I got hit up today twice. 2 times in one day. People ask me some quick questions. Hey, I'm happy to answer. No problem, man. Let's do this thing. Go out there, check us out. Tell your friends about us. Check us out. Let's go make this thing happen.
Cheers, everybody.
Get out of here.